Hi everybody, my name is Grace Seeley and today we will be focusing on the internal analysis and internal factor analysis of Kraft Heinz. We will first begin with our internal analysis. We began our internal analysis by doing our resource curation and finding external articles. We then determined the strengths and weaknesses from these external articles, the shareholders' letter, and a ratio analysis. We based our ratio analysis by comparing Kraft Heinz to their top 5 competitors, which we felt to be General Mills, who was a rival, McCormick & Co., which was also a rival, Kellogg's, which was a rival, Conagra Brands, which was a rival, and Tyson, who was a substitute. We then compiled all of our strengths and weaknesses from those 3 parts into our conclusion section, which determined our top 5 strengths and our top 5 weaknesses within the internal analysis. You can see our top 5 strengths and our top 5 weaknesses on the slide. We found our top 5 strengths to be brand recognition, their new CEO, a high quick ratio and free cash flow, global reach, and a low debt to equity ratio. We found their top 5 weaknesses to be changing consumer values, their SEC investigation, global political environment, diminishing gross margins, and a low return on assets or ROA. We will then move into our internal factor analysis or IFE. The weights are the same for both the EFE and the IFE. They are both industry centric, but while ratings in both differ to your individual company, the meaning of the ratings are different. The ratings in the internal matrix refer to how strong or weak each factor is in a firm. The number ranges from 4 to 1, where 4 means major strength, 3 minor strength, 2 minor weakness, and 1 major weakness. Strengths can only receive 3 and 4, while weaknesses can only receive 1 or 2. The process of assigning ratings in the IFE matrix can be done easier using benchmarking tools. So to start off Kraft Heinz internal factor analysis, we began by giving each of our top 5 strengths and our top 5 weaknesses a weight, and we used our rating from the internal analysis to create a weighted score. We then took a look at both our IFE and our EFE. At this point, we have identified our top strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of our firm. We have assessed through the weighting system how important or impactful each of these factors are to our industry. We have also assessed on a rating scale how well they could or will react to external factors. We also created a scale to access how strong the strength or weakness is. We also created our weighted score to tell us how well or not so well our firm does in combining them. From our IFE and our EFE, we will identify the top weighted scores. We will expand upon that in a description of what that means and what implications it has for the organization. This is important because this will be our major rationale in how we create our SWOT analysis in our later video. On the next slide, we can see our top weighted scores from our IFE and our EFE. Our top factor opportunity is our new CEO. A new CEO could bring in a different perspective to a company. They can quickly learn and identify the issues that the company is facing and come up with different ways to solve the issues. It is always beneficial for a company to bring in a new CEO coming from a different background to see things differently. That would help confirm things that were identified as issues or see things that were not identified as issues or concerns that need to be taken seriously. We believe Kraft Heinz could really flourish with a new CEO because they could take them that step further and really pick back up their business. Our next top strength for our factor is technology. As technological advances are being made in the industry, this positively affects the companies. Machines are being implemented that provide quicker and faster services to producing goods. These machines are also allowing these food processing companies to better preserve their products. As companies are moving towards a more green initiative to appeal to their customers, technology also helps with this. The rise of robotics in the food industry is a tangible example of how food technology will continue to grow in the next few decades. Our next factor, which is a threat, is changing consumer values. In today's society, younger generations are changing their values. As we become more educated on nutrition and technological advances, the hunger for a better and healthier lifestyle increases and does not seem to go away. That is becoming a threat to certain big-name corporations that were producing the same quality and specific products on the market. That led to a lot of companies to diversify their products and stop the production of low-quality foods in most cases, since they do not want to lose their customers. We feel Kraft Heinz could really flourish with this because of their low debt-to-equity ratio. If they wanted to move into this healthier market, they definitely have the means to do so. They could also focus on mergers and acquisitions of smaller firms who are already in that healthy market. Our next factor, which is a weakness, is psychographics and demographics. Recently, consumer values have changed immensely and changed how the food industry operates from beginning to end. Psychographics includes attitudes and personality information. Customers are moving towards healthier foods. Lifestyles are changing as both parents in a family, on average, are working, which leads to less time spent cooking. Families are really looking for that ready to eat, easy to make, but they still want it to be a healthy meal. And that is it for our internal analysis and internal factor analysis. In our next video, we will be focusing on the SWOT matrix, the McKinsey 7s, and a brief conclusion. Thank you.